I don't have problem with nepotism.
Okay.
Nepotism is not a very bad thing.
Okay.
Okay, a farmer's son also becomes a farmer. Nobody says why. If an astronaut's son becomes an astronaut, nobody says why. Okay, so if your son is qualified, if your daughter is qualified, nobody has a problem. I mean, a politician's son becoming a politician is not a problem. But when you have a very incompetent son or daughter, and to make her or his career, you destroy 10 other careers, I think that is criminal. That's the kind of nepotism I am against. Every industry has stars.
Yeah.
But the stars are not bigger than the film itself. They are not bigger than the writers and directors. They are not at the cost of someone else.
Okay.
Be a star, but you cannot be a star at the cost of someone else. Now here it's costing to the industry. Industry is paying a price because of that. Because you have created so much of light. All the lights and all the cameras are on the star. So everybody else has gone into the dark. There are no writers. There is no writing. There is no great writing in our industry. So it's not that I have a problem with OMG or Adipurush. I have a problem that other people are going to use it and exploit it to their advantage. And in the process, the product is going to suffer.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to News 18. Today I have with me an acclaimed filmmaker, Vivek Agnihotri. Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Do you like promotion, sir? Because you don't look like a person who is into much of promotions or,
See, I love my work.
Okay.
So I don't see promotion as a separate activity.
Okay.
Like just now, I was working till 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
For my film, The Vaccine War.
Yes.
From there, I came home and then I went for swimming. I took a flight.
Yeah.
And I came straight from the airport. If you were not here, I did not even have my lunch. I quickly came and said, let's work.
Right.
And from here, I'll go for the screening.
Right.
It will be late night. Again in the morning, So I am working all the time. For me, this is film. To me, a film or a project does not mean just shooting and making it.
Right.
Because I am a storyteller.
Yeah.
There is a story in the way you take it to people also.
Right.
My objective is only that my voice, my story should reach the audience. How it reaches doesn't matter to me.
Right. We have had films on Kashmir, but no producer or filmmaker seems to have taken this subject so personally. And this subject has been with you for multiple years now. Why do you think this has been the case, sir? Why no filmmaker in the past has taken this subject so seriously or like the way you have worked on it?
See, it depends who you are. Totally. It's not that I have always been like that. I was also a regular person. But sometimes when you lose to such an extent, when you are left with nothing to lose, you find certain kind of energy, certain kind of divine energy, and you find a purpose to your life. And after doing the entire cycle, there came a stage in my life, in my personal life, where I said, now I have to just live for myself, And I seriously, once you get to know me, you'll understand that you won't find me, I wear only black.
Yeah.
Okay, I made my life simple. You will find me in this track pant all the times. Okay, and this jacket, you'll find, people say, why do you wear the same clothes? It's not that I wear the same clothes. I have 7-8 t-shirts and couple of this thing, but I have made my life simple.
Right.
I don't care about cars or houses or anything. I don't care about restaurants, parties, people, socializing. I've cut off everything from my life. Every single breath I take is for a certain purpose. And Kashmir fascinated me because I love India very much. Okay, why do you love a country? I love India not because of the buildings and all that. It's not that I love India because of any other reason. I love India because our philosophy is the greatest in the world. If this world has to live, and everything good in this world is reflected in our philosophy. And where is this philosophy coming from? It is coming from Kashmir.
Right.
Okay, all Shaivism, all the belief in Saraswati, which means knowledge and art and poetry, which other country worships art, knowledge and poetry in form of a god.
Yes.
Okay, and Shaivism is not the kind of Shiva we understand, Har Har Mahadev. Nobody says Har Har Mahadev in Kashmir. Okay, Shaivism here means oneness. That the whole world is one. Everything, you and I, everything is one. And in that land of oneness, of spirituality, of art, literature, and culture. They burned cinema halls, they burned books, they stopped women from dancing, singing, performing. You have seen some actress from Bollywood, she was called back also. Nobody is allowed to do all that. Where humanity was killed, the natives were killed and thrown out of that place. It hurts me a lot. Okay, and I felt it's very, very important to tell the story of Kashmir to people, so that in India people understand why Kashmir is so important. A lot of people believe that Kashmir Files work for this reason, that reason, that reason. Now, for the first time, I'm going to tell you why Kashmir Files worked. Why do you think Kashmir Files worked?
I think because it resonated with so many people. So many people felt connected to it, and no filmmaker in the past has actually shown the plight of Kashmiri Pandits the way.
You are right. But that's a subordinate reason.
Okay.
The main reason why that film worked is because of those 10 minutes of Krishna Pandit's speech, that 10-15 minute speech which he gives in the end. That's where you understood, oh my God, this is my land. This is Kashmir belongs to me. And this is what we have done to Kashmir. You know, otherwise the younger generation used to feel, अरे यार हटाओ ना कश्मीर, इतना प्रॉब्लम है, दे दो ना यार पाकिस्तान को, कर दो ना इंडिपेंडेंट, क्यों इंडियन आर्मी पे इतना पैसा खर्च करते हो वहां पे, क्यों मुसीबत. That's how the younger generation used to feel. Okay, that one speech changed it. It connected India with Kashmir. Today Kashmir is part of Indian psyche, which it was not before the film. So that, I think, is the real victory of that film.
Right. Right. You know, another thing which struck me was you announced Kashmir Files Unreported in November last year. And this was exactly a few days after the Israeli filmmaker Nadav Lapid had called it a propaganda. And tell me, was it a statement from you? Were you trying to make a statement that, you know, you announced it around that time? And also, were you also trying to say that you are unbothered by the fact what some people think of your movie?
At least somebody who's calling your film propaganda can't kill you, but that person can kill you. So if I'm not bothered about the terrorists and I'm fighting with them directly, then who are these people? They are just the mouthpieces of terrorism. Na? See, terrorism is an industry. Once you understand, once you study this as a subject, you'll understand that terrorism actually is an industry. It's a very big industry today. And it's in nexus with, recently what happened, that coup in Russia. Okay, it was a private army. What is a private army? It means terrorists of kind, people with guns. So this is a very big industry. And this industry has lots of spokespersons, okay, who are rewarded in various forms, in different ways. Today there is a New York Times report that how some Indian media houses and some journalists are spokespersons of China. Have you read this report? A very sensational report came today, New York Times, which everybody's trending. That's how I got to know. Once I was coming from my plane, I was reading it. Everybody is just talking about that. They have named which are Indian media houses and which are journalists who are agents of China. I've been saying it since 2016. In my book, Urban Naxals, I have named those people who are on payroll of this thing. So everybody said, you can't call them Urban Naxals. Okay, this is propaganda, what you are saying. Today, New York Times has said exactly same thing which I said in my book, Urban Naxals. Then they are saying, oh wow, Vivek Agnihotri knew it. He's a prophet. So what I'm saying is all these people are spokespersons who are calling it vulgar or propaganda. You tell me, why should the jury chairman should come on? You come and say why you have selected this film. You cannot say why you have rejected that film. Because there are 200 films you have rejected, 199 films you have selected one. Tell me about that. You can't. So it was an agenda. It was a paid agenda. It wasn't a free agenda. I know it for sure. I mean, I can prove it in black and white. It was a paid agenda. That guy was paid money for that. And that's why he has done that. It's a group of people who have been doing it. And all these people have, somehow you'll find, they support free Kashmir and free Palestine. Correct? And Palestine and Kashmir both are somewhere connected with a centralized terrorist industry. Now you can make the connections.
Tell me, was it difficult for you to sort of convince the survivors to come on camera and talk about their plight?
Yeah. So, for 32 years, they had not spoken it. It's like sometimes you have boil on your neck, but after some time you learn how to put up with it. And then you forget about it. That pain doesn't hurt you. And after after a very long time, somebody comes and just hurts you. Then you realize, oh my God, it's hurting me so much. Same thing happened with Kashmiri Pandit community. They became numb. They had PTSD.
Yes.
They had trauma. They had nightmares. They had all kinds of psychological issues. So they stopped talking about it, not to remember it. So they were not very comfortable initially to talk about it.
Okay.
Second thing, they didn't know whether to trust us or not. Because sometimes some people have done it in the past. They raised funds, took money from them, and then cheated them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It happened in there 2-3 cases.
Okay.
So they didn't know whether to trust us or not. And the third thing is they have young children who don't know about all these things. And they didn't want to disturb them because their children are cool, studying, successful. So, but how to overcome this? Then Pallavi had an idea. She said, instead of calling them to our studios and recording them, we should go and live with them, go to their houses. So when we flew from here to Chicago, it's heavy snowfall in a storm, rented a car, and both Pallavi and I, we drove 3-4 hours in some village interior and gone to somebody's house, lived there, understood, listened to their stories, took them time to open up. Then they understood, no, these people are serious and sincere about their work. And despite, contrary to popular belief, when they really saw us working unconditionally, and they understood and they realized that we have nothing to do with money, we are doing it because we want to do it, then they 100% believed in us. And then they opened up.
Right.
But that process took almost 5-6 years now.
Right. So, on one hand, you say that you are not in Bollywood game and you don't want to clash with Shah Rukh Khan's Jawan. On the other hand, you say that arrogance has crept into Bollywood. What is this relationship of yours with Bollywood? Are you averse to Bollywood?
See, I'm not that kind of. I mean, if you know me, I'm not averse to anything. I don't hate anybody. All my fight in life is principled, and you can call it ideological. Okay, principle say he ideology bandi hai. What is that principle? My principle is, I want Indian cinema to be respected in the world. Okay.
Fair enough.
And I think in modern times, cinema can be used as a soft power. To fight the war of narratives in the world.
Right.
If somebody in the West believes that we are regressive people, are we regressive? Are we not growing? Why the World Economic Forums of the world think that we are one of the best economies to work in today? Haven't you seen the change? I mean, there was times when there were no standees like this. Today we are working with them. Just few years ago, every single day something is changing in your life. Let's look at it like this. If I tell you that today the largest fleet of aviation is of Indian women, correct? The largest number of, in the finance sector, most successful people are Indian women. If I tell you that today some of the most successful scientists in the world are Indian women. If I were to tell you that the best nurses in the world today are women. If I were to tell you some of the cream of teaching business are Indian women, right? What do you build? Then does it change the perception about Indian women or not? Otherwise, always, how does the West portrays Indian women, right? Suffering, oppressed, totally powerless, not empowered, victim of patriarchy. Why? Because the West cannot understand that how can a woman cook food, look after children, at the same time be CEO of multinational bank? They cannot understand this because it's not in their DNA. Like we don't understand that how a 18-year-old child can leave the house and live on his own, and after that he comes home only once in 2 years or when the father dies. Can anybody in India understand that how can a son call his father by name? But in the West, they do. They don't understand why we keep calling our father Pitaji all the times. So we are two different societies. But if you want to change the image, if you want the world to believe in India and the power of Indian women, then you'll have to make movies to tell the world. You cannot do it by press articles or TV shows. You have to make movies which are mass media, which goes everywhere in the world and people believe in it. Now, Kashmir, the entire West used to believe that Kashmir is illegally occupied by India. That was the narrative. Kashmir Files changed that narrative. But you need 5 more Kashmir Files to change that narrative. So this is what I mean by soft power. Cinema can be used as soft power. Second thing, my problem is what? If I want to travel to any country in the world today, I want to go to Korea, Tanzania, Russia, Poland, any country in the world, all I have to do is pick up their 5 top films. And I'll get to learn about their costume, their culture, some relationship, some architecture I'll see, how their cities are, how they park their cars, what kind of food they eat, do they eat together, something about the country I'll get to learn.
Okay.
If somebody has to pick up 5 top films of India, what are they going to learn? They'll learn about New York, they'll learn about London, or they'll learn about La La Land, people who belong nowhere, right? Is this soft power?
But of late, there have been like some good films with some good subjects.
Name 5 top films. No, generally I'm talking about Bollywood. I'm not talking about good films.
Right.
Good films, a lot of people are making. But Bollywood, I'm talking about Bollywood, what Bollywood stands for. Name 5 films which really show India.
Right. So you're basically talking about the culture.
I'm saying Bollywood should make films about India, about Indian people. The characters should be real like us. They cannot be alien characters which you have created because you don't know India, therefore you have borrowed characters from here and there, you're making it. That's what I mean.
Right. You also spoke about in an earlier interview about how, Karan Johar has been glorifying the star system, but I have an opinion on that. Star system has always existed in our country, sir. Like, stars have always been treated like demigods here. And it's not because of a producer is doing it. It's because our audience, have always treated Mr. Amitabh Bachchan like a god, or a Rajnikant like a god, or say a Sunny Deol or a Dharmendra. It has always been, star system is very...
Do you treat them like God?
God in the sense that, they're larger than life. So what made you say so that Karan Johar has glorified the star system?
It's visible, it's obvious. It's very, very obvious. Take his show, for example. Who do they keep inviting? Same stars again and again and again, which are like family to him. Okay? And they are giving tonic to, they are giving water to, sunlight to, nurturing the stars. They are making so big because they are totally dependent on stars. I am not against stars. Stars will remain as long as the world remains. There will always be heroes, there will be worship, there will be stars. Tom Cruise is such a huge star.
Yeah.
I mean, every industry has stars.
Yeah.
But the stars are not bigger than the film itself. They are not bigger than the writers and directors. They are not at the cost of someone else.
Okay.
Be a star, but you cannot be a star at the cost of someone else. Now here it's costing to the industry. Industry is paying a price because of that. Because you have created so much of light. All the lights and all the cameras are on the star. So everybody else has gone into the dark. There are no writers. There is no writing. There is no great writing in our industry.
So you're saying that you have problem with the insider club, with nepotism?
I don't have problem with nepotism.
Okay.
Nepotism is not a very bad thing.
Okay.
A farmer's son also becomes a farmer. Nobody says why. If an astronaut's son becomes an astronaut, nobody says why. Okay. So if your son is qualified, if your daughter is qualified, nobody has a problem. I mean, a politician's son becoming a politician is not a problem. But when you have a very incompetent son or daughter, and to make her or his career, you destroy 10 other careers, I think that is criminal. That's the kind of nepotism I am against.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
To keep the stardom of a mediocre star, okay, you are not letting others come into the game. I think that is dangerous.
Right. Just the last question. You spoke about how one should be very sensitive and responsible while making a movie on subject like mythology or maybe some other socio-political subject with respect to Adi Purush, your comment was. Tell me, there's one more movie coming with a similar subject called OMG2. As a filmmaker who has himself worked on such sensitive topics, how do you think filmmakers should approach these subjects? And have you ever thought of making a movie on mythology yourself?
See, I'm not a mythology person, so I can never make a mythological film.
Okay.
I mean, Mahabharata, from a childhood, I have been wanting to do something on Mahabharata. But if I have to do Mahabharata, I am going to treat it like history, not like mythology. I mean, no magic, no miracles. I'm not that kind of person. It's not that I have any problems with that. I love to see mythology, but I'm not that person. I'm not a good... I don't have the competence to make a great mythology. I am more realistic person, number one.
Okay.
But people who are making it, is their choice. I mean, is their sensibility. I think, but one should have the freedom to make what they want to make.
Okay.
Okay. And I do not like too much of censoring, boycotting, banning. I'm against it. I'm for full free speech.
Okay.
And I want to make it very clear, I'm for absolute free speech. To the extent, I think hate speech should also be legal.
Okay. Okay.
Because we do not allow hate speech and free speech, people have become intolerant to even criticism. And therefore, you criticize somebody, they want to destroy it. You criticize a politician, he wants to destroy you. You criticize a film star, he's going to destroy you. And a lot of people have destroyed lots of careers. In media, you criticize your boss, he wants to destroy you. Because our ears are not trained for hate speech. Why not? If somebody hates me, hate is an expression like love. If somebody can say, I love you, I think I hate you should also be allowed. So if somebody comes to me and says on my face that, Vivek, I hate you and you are this, unless and until I hear this many times in my life, how will I get used to it?
Right.
Right. So that's my thinking. I'm not imposing on anyone. But then it has consequences. Then somebody else can also come and tell you, I hate you. Then both of you can get into a cat fight. I have no problems with that.
Right.
Okay. But it should be allowed, hate speech and absolute free speech should be allowed only in a civilized society. When I say civilized, I mean where law and order is very strict.
Okay.
But in a country where everybody is corrupt and there is no law and order, no judiciary, no nothing, it's like sab kuch Ram bharose hai. Wahan pe I am also confused whether something insensitive be allowed or not allowed. Because everybody is waiting for some issue or agenda to exploit it for their gain.
Right.
So it's not that I have a problem with OMG or Adi Purush. I have a problem that other people are going to use it and exploit it to their advantage. And in the process, the product is going to suffer.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened with Adi Purush and oh my God.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.